The Libido Doctor is in.
Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Suzanne, and today I would like to talk about two major pillars of marriage. So, if you are still single, not married, or in a relationship or courtship, pay attention to this if you don't want trouble later. If you already married, go back and quickly check, were those two elements in place when I got married? I'm going to give a few examples because sometimes you may believe that you are safe, but actually you are not. The very first element is spiritual compatibility. Ha! That one, if you are not a spiritual person, meaning that you don't know God, but okay, now, spirits, there are many spirits. There are people who call themselves spiritual and they are very connected to the ancestral spirits, or they connected to familiar spirits, or they connected to witchcraft altars. Spirituality is vast, but you have to remember that God is the father of spirits. If you are not on God's side, you are wasting your time. Let me just tell you that. Okay, so spiritual compatibility, what does that mean? If you want to worship the witchcraft altar, the ancestral altar, please find the person who does that with you. If you are a woman and your job is to target men who have good potential and tie them like this, no, go look for your kind. Okay, spiritual compatibility is very, very important. That is what we call to be equally or unequally yoked. What does it mean to be unequally yoked? To be unequally yoked means that you have light and darkness bound together. You have a believer and an unbeliever bound together. This type of marriage will not work. Okay, let me give you some examples. And sometimes you find a lot of people in church who are not under God, but who are there to snatch the children of God. Or you even have people who go to church, but when they have an issue, they first run to the witchcraft altar. Or they go to an uncle and they know that uncle, he uses different things like that to say things. Or they tell you, but our ancestors have powers. We always have to go back and check with them. Be careful with this type of people. They hide that side very well and they appear to be sold out for God. You have to be careful. Okay, you're a woman and a guy is courting you, but you know that the guy is looking at three other people or two other, because usually men, let me tell you something, men, I'm talking to the ladies now, men, they rarely have you alone. No, let me tell you. They always looking here, looking there, because they don't want to miss the best opportunity. Okay, I'm going to have a video about why men cheat or why men have multiple women. I'm going to have a video. It's very spiritual. But anyway, you are a girl like that. Maybe you go to church, right? And you see this guy and he's talking to you. You like him and all that. But you know in your heart that there are two other girls he's talking to. Now, because you want to be the one he chooses, you go somewhere on an altar and you bind the most likely one he may marry. You bind her on the seat of death. And once you do that, now this poor girl, it will just take a tiny little accident. She'll be traveling somewhere, bam, you hear that there was a plane crash and she died. Not knowing that you, the girl, you the one who bound her so you can have the man for yourself. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Be careful with women. And then she will be the one the guy marries. She comes in the house and plays so innocent that even the guy can cut his head and saying that, no, this one, I know her, I trust her, she can't do anything. Be careful with women. Other women who go, get things to put in the food to bind men. We know that. Because she has to be the one going into that house. Be careful. You are unequally yoked. Or men who do love spells on women. The second pillar is compatibility. Compatibility actually entails how you guys are going to live, like your culture. Some people have a different culture, and it can even be people from the same country. There are some tribes, for example, in Cameroon, there are some tribes where they tell you you cannot marry outside of your tribe. It might not be a problem if both of you make it work. Incompatibility in intellectual. You may be someone who is learned, and then you pair yourself with someone who didn't go to school, who is this. There will be problems. There's incompatibility. Okay? It could be that you are a person that is very wise. If you are the woman and you are the wise person, you will always be pounded upon. If it's the man and you are the wisest person, you will have problems because that woman is going to raise your children. There will be problems. Okay? It could be incompatibility in the way you apprehend finances. If you are a woman who is not wise in your spending and you just want to spend, buy this, get that, there will be problems. If you are a man who doesn't understand that you must, cover your family financially, and you always asking this woman to bring money, there will be problems. Okay? It could be incompatibility in the way you grow up and you see things. Like I was talking to a couple, and this man, unless his mother tells him to do something, he cannot do it. I looked at them, I listened to them, I told them, first of all, I told the guy, sir, your mom brought you to life, but can you actually make love with your mother and have children with her? Stop that. When you take your wife, the Bible says you will leave your mother and your father and cleave unto your wife. Stop that. Like, you always have to go ask your mom what to do before you agree with the girl. But I told the girl, leave this boy. He's a boy. Oh. He's a mama's boy. Leave him. You're going to have trouble in your family, in your couple, because the umbilical cord is not cut. Okay? There are some women who love luxuries and some don't. So this woman who likes luxury, don't go be with a guy who tells you, I'm a simple guy, I don't like cute things. Run away. Run for your life. Okay? Okay. That was it. Bye.